Hey, it's on mute. We ain't got no sound.
Who's coming with me? It's the source, y'all. See the source now. Taking over the game, put it on padlock. With a better roster, sixes to play the lobster. Let them niggas hate for revenge will never stop us. It's the source, y'all. See the source now. Taking over the game, put it on padlock. With a better roster, sixes to play the lobster. Let them niggas hate, but revenge will never stop us. Hear the cancer, you can call me a sick assassin. Cut the chains, you can call me LeBron James. Make a decision, but you never had me in derision. Changing the vision, but more them that cause division. For real, never in submission like I need permission. Niggas steady telling lies like a politician. Nigga need to cool it down, but we the new edition. Yes, yeah, the name is the source. Check the reinvention. For real, you think we not prepared for the fallout? Watch us stack this information. Yo, the source, man. We back. We in the building, right? We back, right? Back at the source, right? For those that don't know, my name is Jeremiah. Please say to Yah, I am the legacy champion here at the Source Debate League. And we definitely got it on lock, man. We keeping this thing popping as we continue to bring you more and more debates, more powerful presentations, because here at the Source, we're about sources, right? We're about the presentation. We're about giving the people the information that they can digest, research, and learn from, right? So we got another powerful discussion tonight, and it's about to go down, man. Yo, where the champ at, man? Scholastic Bully.
Yeah, man, we in the building, man. It's another bout. I got my brother Craig from Dallas, and we got Afi the Yogi. Both these brothers about to get it in. About to see what's better, man. That's all I want to see. I want to see which one of these brothers can prove their point. You know what I'm saying? We ain't trying to believe none of y'all. We just want to see who can prove their point. Is Hinduism or the Bible better? That's all we want to see tonight. So, hey, PowerPoints is a must, and y'all gonna have to get it in scholastically. 7 game.
That's right, man. That's right. We got some more source in the building, man. I want to take opportunity, man, to go around the panel. We got Pro Rizzo 1 in the building, man. Talk to us, family.
This is Pro Rizzo 1. Shalom to the fam. Shalom. How's everybody doing tonight?
That's right. That's right, man. Keeping this thing going. So that was a special request. There was a special request made because there's been a lot of talk, right? Oh, these brothers is biased. These brothers, you know, they're one-sided over there. They got rigged debates. You got to be out of your damn mind if you think for 1 second that we rigging anything. You go ask any judge that has ever judged here at the Source. Ask them, did we pre-prompt them on their decision, or did we push them to make a decision? Go ask them, right?
No, so everybody was fair, straight up.
What was that?
Everybody's straight up, bro, on the whole judging thing. You know, everybody's bringing their own material. Everybody set up their debate the way they feel like they're comfortable with debating. So, you know, in any competition, you know, you're going to have winners and losers. You know what I'm saying? It's really unprofessional to be a sore loser. But, you know, that's the way it is. You know, brothers get cut, they get cut hard, you know, and it hurts. But you need to source up, get your information right. And, you know, just do your best, you know, but there's no real need to sabotage debates and pay people off. This is just debate, you know. Nobody's going to get $1 million off of this. Let's face it, folks. You know, just some odd claims. It's just really ridiculous, you know.
Right.
But it's good to be here to the fam. Hey man, let's get it started. Let's get it started.
Man. So, like I was saying, there was a special request made by Brother Craig, who is a Hebrew Israelite, and I respect and honored his request. He said he didn't want any Hebrew Israelite judges on the panel at all, right? Why? Because he believes in the source. He believes in our integrity and what we're trying to build over here at the source, man, right? So we honored that brother and got him non-Hebrew Israelite judges, right? To kill all the rumors, all y'all bias, this, that, and the third. We want to kill that, right? So before I introduce the judges, Scholastic Bully, anything you want to say on that?
Nah, man, I honor that.
Hold on, man. The middleweight champ want to jump in here, man, and advocate.
Go ahead,
my brother, baby Hebrew. You know what I'm saying? Brother Craig, we not finna play with you boys no more. Say, my brother, baby Hebrew, he one of the learners and one of the most open Hebrews out there. Man, baby Craig coming to smash this Hinduism. You see what I'm saying? He coming to sit here and tell y'all the facts about it, bro. Y'all pay attention, man. Real talk, man. My brother back, look at him. He back here getting it. You know what I'm saying? Dun, 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 dun. You know what I'm saying? My boy back, hey, his debut. My brother, baby Hebrew debut. He coming through on his debut debate. Hey, I'ma wish him luck. I want him to win.
Right.
Come on, baby Hebrew. We gonna get it. We gonna get it, baby. Hey, the source, King middleweight champion. Hey, y'all holler at me if y'all want to debate. Middleweight champion, King Self, the source. All day, every day. SUC, nigga. Sourced up, click. Nigga, that's what it do. Real talk. Let's get it.
That's right, man. I want to say congratulations to King Self, man. He won his last debate. You understand? He came in there, jumped in the ring, did his thing with scholastic presentation. You know what I mean? So shout out to everybody that was a part of that thing, right? So now I want to take this opportunity to introduce some of the judges, man. We got Chris Harris back in the building, MVP, right? SVDL champ, right? Most valuable player over there. Talk to us, family.
What's going on? Just want to see a tight debate. As always, this can go either way. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking for some scholarship. I know my brother's having a hard time with his presentation today, so I'm gonna have to see his orator skills. I'm gonna have to see his a lot of skill gonna have to come out here, man, when you don't have a presentation as per se the Source League does. So I'm looking forward to a good debate. Like I said, I'm looking to be educated, and once again, remember, put the onus on the judges. A debate is not won according to a topic. So with that being said, thank you, Yirim Yah, in the Source League. One up.
That's
right.
Yeah,
hold on. Let me say this real quick. Fuck the police. Black Lives Matter. Peace to the Black Gods.
That's right. That's right. I'm a Hebrew Israelite, and I concur on that, man. Right? NWA style. You understand? So, right? Let the people rise up, man. All right, man. So, we got another judge in the building. Can't see their names here, man. Introduce the next judge, Joshua.
We got brother Sabio judging tonight. So
Peace. Well, peace. Thanks everybody for allowing me to judge the debate. It's my first time judging the debate, and I would like to concur or go along with what Chris Harris just said. I want to hear what the presenters have to say, and let your information do the talking. I say it's time to get rid of the Bible, but that's another debate, and just bring it. Let's get it.
Right. Another non-Hebrew Israelite judge. I wanted to prompt that on the screen so everybody can see that, man. Understand that, man. Right. Last but not least, man, introduce the next judge, Joshua.
The last judge is Alman. Alman, introduce yourself.
Yeah, this is Nefertim, and I appreciate you guys for having me on as a judge. This is my first time being a judge. I have promised to be non-biased, and I hope both debaters are able to stay on topic and do the best they can. And I wish the greatest of luck to both people that are on here. Peace.
All right, so we introduced all the judges. Which one of you brothers gonna go first, man? Which one of you brothers want to go first? Craig, you want to go first? Afi, who going first? Talk to me. Y'all gotta let me know. 15 minutes. What's y'all rounds? Is it 15 minutes, 10 minutes? Open up your mic, Craig. Open up your mic, Afi.
I would like my opponent, if he wants to, can go first. We can both do 15-minute rounds, you know what I'm saying? But it's pretty much up to him if he agrees. How you feel about it, Afi?
If you want to go first, you can go first.
All right, I guess I'll go first, man.
All right, take initiative. Let's go.
All right, man. So we got Craig jumping in the ring, which is usually the Michael Buffer, the source man, who's making the introductions, man. So now it's his turn to step in the ring, man. So we fired up about this. It's about to go down, right? And let me get my clock out. Get the clock out. All right, brother Craig. The time starts when you start.
All right, can y'all see my screen?
Yeah.
All right. First off, I would like to start how the Bible can help the Black Americans if used with care. Well, how the Bible can help Black America if used with care. I'm sorry. First off, I would like to go into child instruction and discipline, right? What I did with this, I went into Proverbs and it talked about, Proverbs 22, verse 6, train up a child with the way he should go. Even when he is old, he will not depart from it. Also went to Proverbs 29, verse 15, the rod and reproof give wisdom, but a child left to himself brings shame to his mother. I went to Proverbs 13, verse 24, who should spare the rod hates his son, but he who loves him in diligence to discipline him. Now, the reason why all of these scriptures and verses are important is because if this is instilled into the child's mind at a young age, it would force that child and makes that child become liable. It would teach that child what is right and what is wrong, and it would also make that child think about his actions before he would go forward. Going to the next slide. Now, the next slide, I went into Leviticus 11, verse 8. Leviticus 11, 7, verse 8. And the swine that he divided the hoof and be cloven-footed, yet he cheweth not the cud, he is unclean to you. Of their flesh shall you not eat, and their carcass shall ye not touch, they are unclean to you. Also went into Exodus 12, verse 11. Now you shall eat it, the unblemished lamb, in this matter, with your lions grinded sandals on your feet, and your staff in your hands, and you shall eat in haste. It is the Lord's Passover. That's Exodus 12, verse 11. Now, the reason why I added that is to my next sample right here. Now, the problems with pork, example 1. And this source comes from drax.com. The pig's problematic digestive system. There are reasons that the meat of the pig became more saturated with toxins than many of its counterparts farm animals. The reason has to do with the digestive system of a pig. A pig digests whatever it eats quickly. It run up to about 4 hours. On the other hand, a cow takes a good 24 hours to digest. During the digestive process, animals, including humans, get rid of excess toxins as well as other components of food eaten then could be dangerous to health. Since the pig digestive system operates rather basically, many of the toxins remain in its system because it's stored fatty tissues ready for our consumption. Other issues with the pig. Other issues with the pig, it is that it has very few functioning sweat glands, and it can barely sweat at all. Sweat glands are a tool that the body uses to be rid of toxins. This leaves more toxins in the pig's body. When you consume pork meat, you two get all the toxins that weren't eliminated from the pig. None of us needs more toxins in our systems. All right. Now, example 2, because I was really, really getting on pork. Example 2, increased cancer risk from bacon and other processed porks. According to the World Health Association, processed meat like ham, bacon, and sausage causes cancer. The International Agency of Research on Cancer, and this also came from drx.com. The International Agency for Research on Cancer actually classifies processed meats as a carcinogen, something that causes cancer. Researchers found that consuming 50 grams of processed meat each day raises your risk of carcinogen cancer by a very significant 18%. Processed meat is considered to be a food item like ham, bacon, sausage, hot dogs, and some deli meats. Notice a theme store there. There are mainly pork derived food products. How many processed meats is in 50 grams? There's about 4 strips of bacon. Maybe you can think that you can only eat 2 pieces of bacon regularly. According to this research, that would likely equate to 9% increases of cancer likelihood. Unfortunately, pig and processed meat is often consumed by folks following the keto diet and paleo diet, as well as Atkins diet, for example. Instead, they should be using healthier meats like beef, lamb, bison, or chicken. Now, I'm gonna skip to my example 4. Eating pork products are loaded with alterity, clogging, cholesterols, and saturated fat is a good way to increase your waistline and increase your chances of developing deadly diseases such as heart diseases, diabetes, arthritis, Alzheimer's, autism. Also, high blood pressure. High blood pressure is a major risk factor for heart disease, and stroke. Black faces significantly higher rates of hypertension compared to whites. By the end of the cardia study, 75% of blacks had developed high blood pressure compared to just 55% of white men and 40% of white women. That's of August 9th, 2018. And that also came from the source was Pedia and cardiosmart.org. Now, I would like to go into the definition of socialism, right? Any of the various economic and political theories advocating collective or government worship and administration of these products and distribution of goods. A system it is also a system of government or grouping living in which there is no private property. Now, I would like to jump into 1 John 3 verse 7. But if anyone has the world's goods and see his brothers in need, yet closes his heart against him, he does not but let me read that over. But anyone has the world's goods and sees his brother in him, yet closes his heart against him, how does God love abide in him? In Numbers 18 verse 21, it says, behold, I have given the children of Levi all the tithes in Israel, and as an inheritance in return of the work which they perform, the work of the tabernacle of meeting. In verse 24 continues, for the tithes of the children of Israel, which they offer up as a heave offering to the Lord, I have given to the Levites as an inheritance. There I have said to them, amongst the children of Israel, they shall have no inheritance. In other words, the tithes for the other 11 tribes, which are food and not money, were basically the nation of Israel's taxation system. The Levites were the government servants, and the other 11 tribes were the public, and therefore paid for their services through the variety of national tithes. Now, with that being said, but of this, he says, soweth sparingly, all repeat sparingly, and he who sows bountifully and also reap bountifully. So I let each one give as he purposed in his heart, not gradually or necessary, for God's love is but basically what I'm saying is with this, I'm showing that the Levites and pretty much the Bible supports the law of reciprocity. It's basically showing that if you do something for me, I do something for you, and we can all give in harmony and community. In theology's circles, this is called the law of reciprocity. Social psychologists call it the law of reciprocity, and it basically says that when someone does something nice for you, you will have a deep-rooted psychological urge to do something nice in return. As a matter of fact, you can even reciprocate, which a gesture for more generous than the others which which is good, which is a good deed. Now, what I did, I showed the black community how the black community is low in this is a chart from 2018, right? And I showed how the black community is low on the or high in the poverty scales, right? So what I'm saying is, if black people would actually adhere to the law of Leviticus, the health, and for distinguishing wealth amongst each other, we can pretty much change those factors. Now, a lot of you guys are wondering, what did the Bible do for the black community? Well, there were a lot of people who were inspired by the Bible that were pretty much great historical figures. For example, with Richard Allen. Richard Allen was born February 14th, 1760, March 26, 1831. Was when he died. Richard Allen was a minister, educator, and one of America's most active and influential black leaders. In 1794, he founded the African Methodist Episcopal Church, AME, the first independent black denomination in the United States. He opened his first AME church in 1794 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Elected the first bishop of AMC Church in 1860, Allen focused on organizing a denomination in which free blacks could worship without racial oppression and slaves could find a measure of dignity. He worked to upgrade the social status of the black community, organizing Sabbath schools to teach literacy and promoting national organizations to develop political strategies. Now, there's also David Walker. David Walker was born in 1797. He died 1830. David Walker was a courageous and visionary African-American leader and activist. He put his life on the line by demanding the immediate end of slavery in the newest establishment of the United States. Walker has exerted lasting influence on the ongoing struggle for equal rights and racial justice in the United States during his lifetime. He published the other abolitionists to be bolder and more radical in their thinking and actions. And through the years, his ideas have inspired many generations of black leaders and activists through all backgrounds. Let me go into, Walter's impact. Walter was a leader in the African-American community in Boston, Massachusetts. He is best known for writing and distributing a pamphlet called David Walker's Appeal to the Colored Citizens of the World. This was a passionate apostle of black liberation, a call to his afflicted and slumbering brethren to rise and cast off the chains that bound their minds as well as their bodies. An evangelical Christian, Walter was a deeply religious man. In his appeal, he took white Christians to task for supporting and its savagery and unchristian treatment of fellow human beings. Such as treatment was not only inhumane, Walker asserted it as also enslavement and degrade black people through the Republic. So basically, what I'm saying, the Bible has influenced black people to do a lot of great things. And now, as I move on to my next slide, I would like to move on to one of my favorites. I would like to move on to my favorite, Henry McNeill Turner. Henry McNeill Turner was born February 1st, 1834, and he perished May 8th, 1915. And he was a minister, politician, and the 12th elected consecrated bishop of the African Methodist Church of AME. An African American, he was a pioneer in Georgia at organizing new Congress of African Americans after becoming the African Americans. No, let me read that over again. An African American, he was a pioneer in Georgia at organizing new congregations of African Americans after the American Civil War. Born free in the South Carolina, Turner learned to read and write and became a Methodist preacher. He joined the AMC Church in St. Louis, Missouri in 1858, where he became a minister. Later, he had a pastorates in Baltimore, Maryland, and Washington, D.C. In 1863, during the American Civil War, Turner was appointed as the first black chaplain in the United States colored troops. And after he appointed to the Freedmen's Bureau in Georgia, he settled in Macon and was elected to the state legislature in 1868 during the Reconstruction. He planned many AMC He planned many ANC churches in Georgia. After the war in 1880, he was elected as the first Southern bishop of the ANC church after a fierce battle with the denomination. Angered by the Democrats regaining power and insulting Jim Crow laws in the late 19th century South, Turner began to support Black nationalists and immigrant of Blacks to Africa. He was the first chief figure to do so in the late 19th century. This immigration hold up. This hang on, can you see? This immigration. I lost my voice. Hold on, let me start over. At the first Southern Bishop Acme at the first battle with the demonstration angered by Democrats remaining power, instituting Jim Crow laws, lately 19th century, Turner began to support Black nationalists and an emerge of Blacks to Africa. He was a chief figure to do so in the late 19th century. The immigration movement increased after World War I.
1 minute remaining.
And for that, I'll just end my round. I'll let Alfie have a rest.
All right.
Change screen.
All right, family. So we have an awesome first round from Brother Craig. As you can see, the title is "Which is Better for Black Americans, Hinduism or the Bible?" So the brother touched on different things that you can pull from the Bible, right? Such as help, right? Such as community responsibility, right? Community activism that could positively affect the community. Something tangible that we can see, something that you and I can read and then go implement. So these are great and powerful points that we can use to help us as a people. And if you don't believe that community activism is something that can positively affect us, then something is wrong with you, right? So great round, brother. Great round. And I'm excited to see what our brother Alfie is going to bring to the table, because I'm interested to see the point of view from the Hindu side of creating certain elements that will help us as a people. So Alfie, are you ready?
I was waiting for you to finish. Can you hear me?
You ready? All right. It's on you.
Okay, cool. Namaste, namaskar, kula nada adi tupasalea atman brahma. I say all that to say this. This is the introductory to Hinduism. What's better for blacks? We need to create a non-traditional idea and concept, which I will be presenting, as stated in the Dhammapada, which means in Pali, doctrine of words or way of truth. I'll break down the differences between Pali and Veda, this new concept that I'm creating. But first, since we're in the source, I thought we give a little bit of like history as far as like what we should know when we getting into it, because a lot of people don't know it. In the earliest histories that we go into, we look at there's a stone tool in the Ilamapish in Hindu, which references to a verified that humans were doing this 1.1 million years ago. So it's an applied idea that if we look at the oldest concepts of Hinduism, it's some of the oldest on this planet, which means that it's the starting point. And sometimes it's good to reference that starting point. But you go back to 20,000 BCE, where you find the most literature, where you find them giving praises to the mother goddess and not disrespecting women like the Bible does, where you find that this is what Peli means, basically. I'll jump right into it. It means the school of elders, and the meh, he, ye, na means the great vehicle. So when you're looking at Sanskrit in the way that it can help black people, you get taught by the elders, and then you become the vehicle, which You drive down a certain way of thinking because in order to have, I want to say, a greater advantage in this war, you must have the right state of mind. You can't just be thinking and then doing action and then wondering why your neighbor not helping you across the street because you're not convincing him enough. So then we go into these words of doctrine or the way of truth. You get to what I call the kalama sutra, which kalama means the fountain pen holder. Sutra means a rule or hydrism in Sanskrit literature or a group of hybrid doctoral summaries prepared for memorization. So unlike the Bible where you go off blind faith and belief with no studying to show thyself approved, even in my formless opponent's head, he literally said he's not well versed or studied here, and we could tell by his last round that he wasn't. In Hinduism, you have to be, because that is literally how you understand the fullness in its totality. This is why the ways of Hindu is better for us as a people. No more blind, I believe conceptualism. And this is the doctrine that I'm going to show. Do not believe anything simply because you heard it. Do not believe anything in tradition because it's been handed down for many generations. Do not believe in anything because it is spoken and rumored by many. Do not believe in anything simply because it is written in your religious books. Do not believe anything merely on the authority of your teachers or elders, but after observation and analysis, when you find anything agrees with reason and conduct to good and benefit of one, then you accept it as truth and you live it. This is important because in the Bhagavad Gita in Hindu text, that came from a earlier Upashanda or a way of truth, which basically leads you to the Bhagavad Gita, which gives you a more scriptural thing of how to be a devotee to set your community or anything that you may do, because Hinduism has no gods. It's only the self that created self and everything that's listening to it. And I'm going to explain it with this next point. May one be a devotee in a passive state. May one be a devotee in an active state. May one be a devotee as a friend. May one be a devotee as a parent. May one be a devotee as a conjunctual lover. Devotion is very important here, and it's something that Black people have been lacking for probably since the start of their existence, because we always believed there was something greater instead of reaching into ourselves and pulling out the immortal or unknown sources. So now let's get into what, if there's no gods, then what are all these words, right? So then you get into what I call ajana. Ajana, which means shining silver, or you could relate it to something called the brightness, white or clear. So when you see this being referenced to, it's not a god. It's literally when the universe, or when you first got your first taste of what you call consciousness and woke up and was born through your mother's womb out of triple darkness. We'll talk about darkness later. But what I'm going to say is this. This is very important because my next point throughout this debate, I will show Hinduism does not believe in a God concept, but a nature universal self, a self concept with no God worship at all. In the Bhagavad Gita text, which means a divine song or a celestial song, I'll go further back to my point. Arjuna was in a relationship with Lord as friend. Of course, there was a gap of differences between the friendship and the friendship found in the material world. This is transitional friendship, which cannot be had by everyone. How do you reach this state as a devotee by using the term called Esvenyupa. Esvenyupa is one's own characteristic individual vehicle. These are what I call the steps to advancement from the physical to the formless. It means, according to the Bhagavad Gita, by process of devotional service, one revits that Vishyapa, that is the state. And then you get into Shavishnupa Saha, perfection of one's constitutional position. Another concept is Param Dhamma, which means he who is supreme rest or the adobe of everything. So this now basically means you take a concept like when you're looking at how to walk down the street, you don't just walk, you don't just go to the store. Something inside of you is guiding you to do this. Now, we may say, well, how does all this help the black community? Because if you don't know yourself and you don't know how to activate your inner self, then you're not going to be able to do this to the next person. And you're only going to do it within a blind way of, I guess you can say, community work, right? And that's why a lot of people don't support community activists and all this other things. But in Hinduism, you have to do this because self-service serves all. If I don't believe in myself, I won't get up. I'll just commit suicide. I think it won't be no purpose. So then you keep going. This is the adobe of everything. Then you get into a concept that I would like to present called Pavijram, means he who is pure. Now we understand purity. This is why my computer is white. It represents me looking at how to approach every situation in a pure way, unobtained by a material uh, combination, right? Contamination, excuse me, contamination. And then you get, but the reason why you want to get rid of a material contamination is because this is the reason why blacks in the black community does and stop rising up, because we're not pure in anything anymore. We're focused on the contamination, slavery, contamination, looking at history and trying to find an identity as a result of the contamination. When you should just purely approach, we went through that, let's get past it. But it's a way you have to do it. Everybody has to be on one accord. We've tried the Bible. It clearly doesn't work. And a statistical fact, most people who believe in the Bible still eat pork. So his whole round about not eating pork and why you shouldn't do it and the Bible talks against it, when most people who believe in the Bible eat pork and suffer from diabetes and high blood pressure. Most people like myself who believe in Hinduism and are yogis and devotees, we don't really have no diseases and we're the most healthiest in advance. Keep that in mind. Then you get into Parashem, which means he who is the great enjoyer. You have to enjoy this life because if it's a short lifespan, you must enjoy everything that comes with it. But you must know everybody's joy is not the same. So how do we get black people to enjoy and get comfortable because they're so angry? Well, you tell them, use that anger to build a house. Use that anger to build a car. Use that anger to be a better boyfriend, a better lover. So then we get into what I like to call Karanya, one who teaches by his own example, a spiritual teacher. When you meet this spiritual, what I call guru, which also means spiritual teacher, you then get into the most important thing that when you're one with Krishna, which just means blackness, which blackness is everywhere, and you come out of blackness, even God came out of blackness. That's why he said, let there be light. So when all of this is had to you, you come out of darkness, which isn't ignorant. You look at everything around you and you see that your soul is dark. The shadow that's around you is dark and it's feeding you light. That's how you have a physical form. You have to know all this in order to know what you're really up against. This isn't a physical war on earth, it's a celestial dimensional one. And I'm going to prove it. But so when you accept all of this, because you have to accept the Bhagavad Gita, the song of God, the celestial song is truth. So then you go into where Yah Vishna basically tells Krishna, which is the blackness and all attractiveness, hold on to that. I'll go further, but I'll address it in my later rounds. He says that he accepts to be perfectly in what he is to do. So then you would say words like Sarama or Ita Rahim Maya, which means I accept everything to be true that you say. So you are Krishna, and remember this, because this is what I'm going to get to. You are the creator and the enjoyer. There really is no suffering. We create that in our minds. So let's start with this concept, the I am concept, which in Hindu text means I am Lord of all I survey. I am the enjoyer. The world revolves around this because every living being thinks he is the creator of a material place. The material consciousness has two psyches. One of them is that I am the creator, and the other one is that I am the enjoyer. But the actual supreme Lord, which is still you, is both the creator and the enjoyer. The living entity being a part of a precise of the supreme Lord is neither the creator or the enjoyer, but the cooperator. So now you're not only the creator, the enjoyer, but now you're the cooperator. He is the created and the enjoyed. For instance, a part of a machine is a cooperator with the whole machine, just as a part of the body cooperates with the whole body. The hands, the legs, the eyes, so on, are all a part of the body, but they're not the actual enjoyer. The stomach is the enjoyer. The legs move, the hands supply the food, the teeth chews, and all parts of the body are emerged in the satisfaction or satisfying, the stomach, because the stomach is the primary factor that nourishes the body. Therefore, everything is given to the stomach. One nourishes a tree by watering its roots, one nourishes the body by feeding the stomach. This is important because if you knew what you were actually putting in your body, we have a yogi practice where you eat one meal a day and the rest you just feed off of everything around you. So if the body is kept in a perfect state, then the body parts will cooperate to feed the stomach. This is similar to you submitting yourself to a creator, and I will pass it on to my adversary.
All right. All right. Yo, Jashu, talk to us, family.
This is very, very interesting. The title is "Which is Better for the Black Americans, Hinduism or the Bible?" And both brothers brought up rounds, and they fighting. So, but only one person can win, and that's all I'm gonna say. You're only gonna have one champion that leave today. Somebody gonna die tonight. So that's it, brother.
Some of the stronger points the brother pointed out, you understand, was dealing with certain levels of purity, right? He brought out some points about, kind of philosophizing some of the principal things that we should be looking at in Hinduism, which, I mean, these people have a civilization. They've been around for a long time. and I'm sure they have a certain level of wisdom on how they should be operating as a people. So I'm excited to see what's going on in this second round. We are now entering into the second round. Brother Craig, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready. All right, let me share my screen. Let's see right quick. Can you guys can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Hold on, I can't see it. Hold up right quick. Hold on right quick.
It's on you?
Yeah, it's on me.
All right, so while he's getting it together, I want everybody to know we have the champ back in action coming up this weekend. I want you all to be on the lookout for that. Let me get the topic and the title real quick here. Right? So the Source Debate League champion will be back in action next week. Let me get the time and date. Right? And the title is, Does Hebrew culture exist prior to the 7th century BCE? Right? The Scholastic Bully will be going up against DJ Sean Ski. So we're excited about that and bringing forth another powerful debate. That's 8/29 at 7 p.m. right here on The Source. You can see that at Yah World 777 on YouTube. You can also see that on Genesis 49ers on YouTube and also on NYMG on Facebook. Brother Craig, are you ready?
Yes, sir. I'm ready. I'm ready. Now, can you see my screen where it says, what is Hinduism?
Yes, sir. It's up.
All right. According to one, many interpret Hinduism as monotheistic, as there is one God, polytheistic, as there are many avatars of the one God, henotheistic, as one may choose to elevate one of these avatars to supremacy, pantheistic, as the avatars may be interpreted as represented aspects of the natural world, or the atheistic, as one may choose to replace the concept of Brahma with oneself and striving to be the best versions of oneself. And I will get back to that slide and read that at a later date, because I just had to punch Afi in the face with that one since he just lied and said, hey, goddamn Hindu gods. But I wanted to get back with Owata Gurley, right? Gurley, right? Now, what makes this man so important? And I'm gonna give it to you, right? OW built several square 2-story brick boarding houses near his grocery store. He called the street on which these structures set Greenwood Avenue, after the Mississippi town from which many of his early residents hailed. Before long, the entire area became known as Greenwood, which soon became the site of a school, as well as an African Methodist Episcopal church. But OW's crowning project was the Greeley Hotel, whose high quality rivaled that of the finest white hotels in the state. The reason why I bring this up, this is a man who built Black Wall Street, and this man built his town off the principles of the Bible, right? As hundreds of African Americans immigrated to Greenwood for the oil boom, OW and BJ became increasingly wealthy, with OW's boasting a reported net worth of 15,000 to 36 million adjusted for inflation. OW leveraged his fort to launch a Black Masonic Lodge and a employment agency while bankrolling efforts to resist Black voter suppression in the state. Now, the reason why this man is so important, he brought his people together, and this is why I brought out Leviticus and a few other chapters of coming together and giving amongst your own people so they can build and create an establishment. That's one of the major key things that I wanted to bring out, and why I brought out the creator of Black Wall Street. Further down, why I say that the Bible is better than Hinduism. For example, anti-rape within the Bible, Deuteronomy 22, verse 25. But if a man find a betrothed damsel in the field, and the man forces her and lie with her, then the man only that lay with her shall die. But unto the damsel thou shalt do nothing. For But unto the damsel there shall do nothing. There is the damsel no sin worth of death. For as a man raiseth against his neighbor and slayeth him, so it is this matter. For in verse 27, for he found her in the field, and he betrothed the damsel, cried, and there was none to save her. Meaning, we take care of our sisters. That's right. If you rape anybody, you're going to die. If she doesn't say anything about it, she's going to, she's going to catch the penalty too. But what sister won't holler when someone says rape? You know what I'm saying? I mean, not when someone says rape, when someone's trying to rape her or anything like that. So this is a good basis within the Black community to stand by with the Bible. You know what I'm saying? Now, getting into the aspects of Hinduism, right? Now, I'm going to explain what karma is. Karma of the Sanskrit, or karma meaning act, of Pali Kama, and the Indian religion and philosophy, the universal cause laws by which good or bad actions determine the future modes of an individual's existence. Karma represents the ethical dimension of the process of rebirth. Now, let's get into reincarnation. Reincarnation, a major tenet of Hinduism, is which the soul, which is seen as an eternal part of the spiritual realm, returns to the physical realm in the new body. Now, for example, and this is pretty extreme, some Hindus believe if they keep on repeating their mistakes or bad deeds, their atum, which is their self, may be reborn in an animal form, so that the atum works off the karmatic debt, eventually earns another chance to act responsibly in a human body. So this means, technically, you know what I'm saying, let's just say if they see an animal, they actually believe that animal did something wrong in a past life, and boom, you know what I'm saying? That's why that animal is an animal. I'm going to cover example of karma and reincarnation, and I spelled example wrong. But Nat Turner was born poor and a slave according to Hinduism. It is justified because his karma put his life into slavery because he must have did something evil in his past life, thus affecting his present. So basically, this is saying if you do something bad or wrong in karma, I mean, not saying if you do something, if you're born poor, if you're born a slave or anything, according to karma and according to Hinduism, you must have did something in a past life. So Nat Turner must have did something bad in a past life. If Nat Turner's reincarnated as a cockroach or whatever, and you step on a cockroach, goddamn, you killed Nat Turner, all according to Hinduism. I would like to go into well, let me go back to my first slide when it talked about the Hindu gods, right? Well, not my first slides. I'm gonna deal with this slide. When it talks about the Hindu gods, right? Now, it was an Indian man worshipped as a god. In India, an Indian tea picker named Kandri Orano, 35, has grown a 14.5-inch hairy tail. Villagers in West Bengala believe he is an incarnation of the Hindu monkey god. His tail is represented as a birth defect, but followers believe it has healing power. Kandri was born with a patch of hair on his lower back and has refused to have it cut, leading to locals believing that he is an incarnation of a Hindu monkey god Hanuman. Worshippers travel hundreds of miles to quote and up outside his house in Alifadar, West Bengala, to seek blessings by touching his tail, which is weird. So in Hindu, they believe in self-deification. You see what I'm saying? And they have many issues with people, basically saying that they are a god to be born. In Hinduism, anyone can be a god. Now, this guy's pretty special. Meet Basava Krishna, who has made his humble dwelling into a Trump temple. Like any ardent devotee, Krishna also dreams of having darshana of his gods. Since Trump is visiting India on February 24th, Krishna has pinned his hopes on his trip. In a conversation with Toy, Krishna said that he has been praying zealously to meet Trump on his Indian visit and even prays for his welfare as well as re-election as the U.S. president during next elections. Why worship Trump as a Hindu god? How did it start? Krishna's rare devotion has a backstory and quite an unusual one at that.
It started when he saw Trump in an early morning dream. As the Hindus believe dreams seen early in the morning hold some significance, and some even come out to be true. Ever since Krishna has developed
worshiping Donald Trump by installing an idol of him by spending a whopping 2 lakhs. I mean, lakhs. I guess that's the currency, and offering pujas.
Krishna dreams featuring his deity Trump. He also has been prophetic. Once he saw Trump in a dream, he later told him that India would win the cricket
match during the 2019 World Cup and against Pakistan.
Of course, India won the match, and Krishna's faith strengthened in his God. These folks are very superstitious. Black folks don't need this. You know what I'm saying? And so here's an image of this man. He built the Hindu Trump. That's what I call him. He's kissing Trump. He built him. He's an extreme devotee. And if you want to see the reborn monkey guy's tail, this is what people's traveling 100 miles to touch.
Craig,
Harry.
Craig, I paused your time, man. You sound like a damn robot, man.
Right. He's having the same issue the King Seth was having. So, brother,
it's coming over here.
what you need to do is do what he did. Log in with your phone, use your phone as your mic, and mute his computer.
Mute his computer.
All right,
and
hold on.
Down.
All right. Your mic. Email me the link.
All right, I'm gonna do it right now.
This is what.
Yo, we got this, Afi. We got this. I apologize to the audience for the technical difficulties, but after the brother gets back up with his phone, we'll proceed where he left off. And yeah, that's it on that. So, hey, Craig, just make sure you use your phone, mute the computer, and turn the volume all the way down so we don't get any backfeeding. And you can continue as soon as you do that. The link should be in the Facebook group.
The link, I just emailed it to you. You should have it.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm pretty good.
You good?
Yeah.
Are you zooming?
Yeah.
What is this?
Hey, mute your mic. Mute your mic.
It's not. That's.
Yeah. All right, man. So everybody that's watching, I just want to take this opportunity to let you all know about the tag team tournament. The tag team tournament, we are open for those who want to participate. We will be having an entry list that you can join. It'll be a 2-man tag team, and we're moving forward with this tournament. It's going down here at the Source, man. What's your thoughts on the tournament, Joshua?
Man, I can't wait, man. You know, you brothers outlawed me from getting any good help. I throw names out there, I get vetoed. I can't get good help. I got to get somebody, you know what I'm saying, that's a rookie, I guess. But
nah, man,
yeah, I'm excited.
You try to get that boy Chris Harris, man. I can't let that
man,
go.
Why can't I get Chris, man?
Nah.
See, that's what I'm saying. Y'all throwing salt in the game. Y'all throwing salt in the game, man.
Hey, Chris, man.
Hey, flag on the play, 15-yard penalty, man. You throwing salt.
Yo, Chris Harris, man, what you think about that, man? You're on mute,
Y'all ran Aki off, man. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was trying to see what
the tournament gonna be dope. You know what I'm saying? If it pan out the way I'm thinking it's gonna pan out, and we get some good teams in there, it's gonna be dope. It's gonna be like a cage match, kind of. You know what I'm saying? You get that brother, especially if you get a brother that fits your dynamic. Right. So if a brother come in and you weak in a certain area and he feel that spot, you're gonna be a dangerous team. You hear me? You're gonna be a dangerous team, man, and you might make it all the way to the top if you find that right partner, that filling them blanks that you know what I'm saying, as a debater. It's certain areas that you're not good at, and you find somebody that fill in all those blanks and complete you. Oh man, you're gonna be dangerous in that tournament. So
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
That's
man.
what I want brothers to think about. You understand? You don't want to get someone who's just like you. You want to get someone that fill in certain areas that you're weak in. You understand? So you should be thinking about that when you're looking for a tag team partner, man. It's going down here at the source. Right? Craig, you
All
back?
right, I'm back. I'm sorry. Did you get the part where I talked about the guy worshiping Trump and everything? And yeah, I'm
Yeah,
back.
we heard it. It was a little choppy, but we got the gist of it.
Okay, do you want me to redo it to where he woke up in the morning and he saw Trump and all that stuff? When we do that?
For the sake of time, just give a summarization of it. Just make a quick summary, and
Okay,
then
so
move forward.
basically within the Hindu culture, Afni said there was no gods, but that's incorrect. Within the Hindu culture, there's a such thing as avatars of a god. So with the avatars of a god, right? This man, Krishna, basically saw Trump, and he dreamed of Trump coming to India. So he decided to make, an idol of Trump. You know what I'm saying? So basically, in Hinduism, right, you can pretty much do whatever when you deem anything as a god. It can be a goat or anything. And I just found it funny that this man did with Trump. Just like with this guy right here, except he get that from me. Just like with this guy right here, right? Now this guy was the reborn. He was the reborn. He was supposed to be. The brother has a mutation, right? But he's supposed to be a reborn Hindu monkey god. And he's on a tree. He's advertising and stuff like that. People travel far and wide just to touch his tail, and it's a condition that most Indian males have and get. So whenever this occurs, they pretty much believe that if they touch the tail, they'll be blessed and healed. But without further ado, I would like to go down a little bit more. I'd like to talk about the Agori people, right? Now, the Aghori people are a small group of Dantarik, Asteric, Shiva sadhus. They engage in most modern rituals. They often dwell in charnel grounds, smearing cremation ashes on their bodies, and uses bones from human corpses for crafting coplas, skulls, and jewelry. Now, this gets a little graphic on what they do. Now, these people are a part of Hinduism, and these people eat flesh. Um, there is also that is, I mean, okay, these people eat human flesh. That's all that some need to know about the Agori religion of India to brand its followers as a deranged, and others criticize focus on the practice by religious beliefs of smearing human ashes all over their bodies or the occasion consumption of their own excrement. So basically, this is a part of their Hinduism. This is a part of what they believe because it is a form of their own version of life within Hinduism. So basically, they eat people and they splatter their own excrement all over each other, and they put the ashes of the dead all over them, which is pretty crazy. So this is an aspect of Hinduism, and I don't get what Afi want. If I don't get what anybody want to do this stuff for because it's so savage. Also, the Agoris believe every person's soul is Shiva, the goddess of death, but is covered by um, Ashmanta, 8 great noses or bounds, including sensual pleasure, anger, greed, obsession, fear, and hatred. The practice of the Agoris are centered around the removal of the bonds. Shada in ceremonial grounds is used in an attempt to destroy fierce sexual practices with certain rites and control attempt to release one's former sexual desire. Being naked is used as an attempt to destroy shame. So basically, what I'm saying is these people would do just weird, terrible sexual things in a way to express themselves, and they don't care who's around, what's around. You're just gonna see it full-fledged rated X films. You know what I'm saying? So basically, what I'm saying, this is not good for Black people. This is not something Black people need because with this type of just blatant, disgusting act, this would destroy the minds of children. All right, now I would like to get into the laws of let me go up here. Ah, snap. I lost mine.
I would like to get into the Hindu text a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Because my opponent really loves the Hindu text. I'm going to read the laws of Manu. Now, I didn't get all the laws because there's so many, but I got some that were pretty potent for the debate. Day and night, women must be kept in dependence by the males of their families, and if they are attached themselves to sensual enjoyments, they must be kept under one's control. So basically, this is extremely misogynistic. A man aged 30 years shall marry a maiden of 12 who pleases him, or a man of 24 of a girl 8 years old of age. If the performance his duties, if the performance of his duties would otherwise be independent and impeded, he must marry her sooner. You know, these are laws that black people don't even need. This is crazy molestation just right here, man. So I would like to get into another Hindu text, the Mansu Sariti text. It just states mantra saratsu. Wise people should avoid sitting alone with one's mother, daughter, or sister, since carnal desire is always strong. It could lead to temptation. Now, if you can't sit near your mother, your daughter, or your sister, and you so that perverted, man, hey, we don't even need this, man. This is terrible. Yatatu kana. In a case, a woman tears the in the case the woman tears the membrane of her vagina, she shall instantly have her head shaved or 2 fingers cut off and made to ride on a donkey. You know what I'm saying? This law is these laws pretty much only pertain to men for the benefit of men, and women, they just get treated like they dirt. I mean, you're gonna cut the woman hand, like you're gonna cut the woman finger off, make her ride the dang donkey. I mean, there's no benefit of women in this whatsoever. The derived offender, on failure to produce offspring with her husband, she may obtain offspring by collaboration with her brother and sister, with her brother-in-law, which with some others reverberate on her law. Basically, what this law is saying is that she has to basically, if she can't produce a child or a son or anything with her husband, she got to do it with her brother. You know what I'm saying? Which is very weird, very freaky. You know what I'm saying? Something that we all don't need. No incest. A barren wife may be suspended in 8 years. Shall she in the 8th year, she whose child died may be suspended within the 10th year, and she who bears only daughters may be suspended in the 11th year. But she who is quarrelsome may be suspended without delay. So basically, the saying is, if the woman is just mouthy and she's just real crazy, you can't really deal with her or anything like that, she just gets suspended immediately. You know what I'm saying? Meaning that she gets put down, killed, murdered. You know what I'm saying? But I would like to give the rest of my round to Brother Afi, because I'm done here. I feel like this is all I need to say.
All right, man. Bruh, that last part, bruh. Yo, Alpha, you got some explaining to do, brother. Yo, is all of this stuff really going on out there, man? I mean, bruh, what?
Hey, you hear me? I'm hungry, man. That ruined my appetite.
Bro, yo, man, listen, man. According to what I just heard, man, it's very disturbing, brother. Very disturbing. Joshua, man, talk to us, family.
Yeah, I mean, my brother dug a ditch for him, and he's trying to lay the body in there right now. And I'm interested to see Afi get out of this one. Like, Afi, you got to swing back, like fight back, bro, fight back. So it's on Afi, man. Go ahead.
Yo, man, I ain't got nothing to say, man. Let's go, man. We're at the bottom of the second. Afi, are you ready?
I'm right here.
All right, let's go.
First, before I get into my presentation, truth be told, I mean, very, very negative things happen in every culture. For instance, the fact that Hebrews were eating their own children, their own shit. You know, I think we don't want to try and go eye for eye here. It gets bloody after this. Or the fact that y'all was in exile and y'all literally decided to eat not only your own shit and children, but each other. And it got real barbaric. So I mean, let's kind of hold back on the personal attacks. Let's stay focused on the information. So before I go any further, let's deal with this. Karma is not the reincarnation of you stepping into a different body, or even you being the cause and the effect, or the opposite equal reaction. We're here to dispel that right now. And it's not at all, does not mean that if I smack somebody, I'm going to get hit by a bus. That concept, because I knew he was going to go there, is actually called Sa Masara, which means Samasara, which basically means the world of delusion in which we all live. The forms with which we identify the emotions which binds us to form constitutional or constitute the cosmic dream. As also it is said that the dream world is opposite of the realm of spirit. The word references to and with the individual soul in the dream and the endless cycle of birth and death governed by karma, which is activity, the awareness of all consciousness and subconscious energy, formless to form. Then we get into, as a reference in the Bhagavad Gita in Sanskrit, of what karma, and karma yoga is. So if karma isn't life and death and being rebirthed and reincarnated and living in this dream world, and it's actually samsara, then what's karma? Well, karma is right here in three small little points. Karma yoga, the path of God realization through dedicating the fruits of one's work to God. Karma, one engaged in karma, fruitless or fruitful activity. A materialist, karma, the material activity for one who incurs substance of reactions, or a subsequent reactions. So basically, in order to apply karma, you basically have to do everything physical and a devotion of which you are basically doing work above you, because God in Sanskrit means the generator, operator, and destroyer. And in our doctrine, because as a yogi, you're supposed to create your own doctrine, which is what I'm talking about, a non traditional idea, and let all those old traditions go. God means guidance, order, and discipline of oneself. So that dispels that. And we're going to go back to the presentation. Don't ever get beside yourself, young man, again. Now, I've noticed Black people's main condition. It is focusing and concentration. So I took the dedicated time, my devotion, because I'm a devotee, to a solution. We must go under and learn what I call target consciousness. So we're also going to do yoga breakdowns. Let's deal with what yoga actually is, because it's more than just sex positions on Pornhub, tight clothes, and chanting. We must advance in the passion and upgrades. So I'm going to talk about 4 points. And these 4 points are basically 8 consciousness, fearless eye of the path, know self, and wisdom eye. But before we get into all of that, we can get into the different positions, which is much you should know. Meditation is more than just breathing and thinking. So you have in Hindu called asana, which means position, pranayama, which means breathing techniques, matras, which means a position or gestures which represent the psyche, bandhas, which means a lock for energy exchange, or what you would call channeling energy. And then you have, oh, here go that word karma again, setta karmas, which means cleansing practice. So in this highest stage, that's what karma really is when you cleanse oneself. And all these techniques is used to purify the body, mind, and soul energy systems to prepare the ground for higher practices of meditation for the ultimate experience of a cosmic consciousness. No matter what, always remember these techniques expand your consciousness. Yoga is the science of right living and such as is intended to be incorporated in daily life. So then you have the eight consciousness. This is important because if black people knew the eight consciousness, they would then know how to move in a better way of living. So you have eye consciousness, ear consciousness, nose consciousness, tongue consciousness, body consciousness, mind consciousness. Our ordinary minds we use to utilize the previous five consciousness in order to view and define, identify, and interpret the world I like to call universal perception, is the source of all delusion, of all separate self, belief in a self concept, self love, and self concept, which is one's expression of pride in oneself. And that's black people's number one killer, excess of pride in oneself, or what is also called in yogi. Thank you. Thank you. Which is also called in yogi ego consciousness, which is self gratification and self satisfaction, which is the reason why I don't cut my hair or shave my beard, because I'm above desirelessness. And I'm not like my opponent who wants to wear flashy hats because I want the world to look at me, look at the inner me. Then you have the eighth one, which is the house of, or what you call the storehouse, where the formless energy and activity is kept. So let's get right to the medicine. For those who say that the mind and the body is one and that makes the soul or makes oneself, is very incorrect. Because in Hinduism lessons, according to Complete Enlightenment, page 98, for those who take the body and mind to be the self are like one who sees and believes that flowers grow in the sky. Most of us know that there are no flowers in the sky, but it is hard to convince one who believes that they clearly see otherwise. If you try to even explain that to them, they will say, like my opponent said, it is illusion and all these crazy things, and they'll think you're crazy. But according to Buddha Dharma, the mind and the spirit are also illusions. When we speak of a spirit, a soul, a self, we're clinging to our fantasies of a permanence and existence. On the other hand, we also cannot say that nothing exists because that is neo-heliism, which is also delusion. If we are to view this as truth, it would be pointless to practice and strive for enlightenment. In saying that things don't exist, people can loosen their attachments to forms, ideas, and to be relieved of the burdens of anxiety, which is what black people suffer from, and afflictions, and arise from these attachments. And again, I'm going to reference that Hindus and yogis do not believe or pray to no higher power. And I'm going to prove it. We are self created. This is in the Bhagavad Gita. This is in the 108 Upanishads. And I'm going to reference it right here and now going into my later round. Consciousness is always where the senses are. When you are hungry, your consciousness is in your belly. When you have a headache, your consciousness is in your head. When someone even catches your eye, your consciousness is on that person. Then we're going to go back to the concepts I was discussing. Fearless eye of the path, the ability to the the ability to discrete, excuse me, the ability to discern truth from false, fulsome from unfulsome, as a result of having realized enlightenment oneself, a central teaching that there is no isolation, self-existing entities, and that one can grasp the self. It is a mere concept or conceptual concept from the illusionary mind. And then you have wisdom eye, that which perceives the truth, empty nature of all phenomenon, which leads you to the 10 powers, the complete knowledge of Buddha, which is what Black people need to know. What is right or wrong in every situation? What is karma, which is dealing with activity, not cause and effect? That is actually called what I said before, sa, ra, samsara, which is the outward play of Maya, the great illusion or illusions, or the delusion of or with a long cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. That is not karma, and it is not reap what you sow. So the Bible needs to correct that if they're going to teach properly. And then I give my remaining round to my opponent.
All right,
Okay.
that's the end of that round. We're going over to Craig.
You couldn't talk no more, huh? All right. Well, let me get everything ready. Let me share my screen. All right. You guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Can everybody
Yes,
see it? All
yes.
right. All right. First of all, first off, I have a problem, and if you noticed, everyone, this man said he in yogism and Hindu and whatever, he creates his own doctrine. Now, I knew he would do that because I know Afi pretty well. So I would like to accuse him. Let me go down. I would like to accuse him of theosophy. Theosophy is a religion established in the United States during the late 19th century. It was founded primarily by the Russian immigrant Helen Blavatsky and draws its beliefs primarily from Blavatsky's writing, categorized by scholars of religion as both a new religious movement and a part of a cultish stream of Western esotericism. Well, it's really esotericism, but esotericism. It's drawn upon both older European philosophies and as neo-Liptons in Asian religions such as Hinduism and Buddhism. Now, fun fact: Blavatsky was a converse figure during her lifetime, and this is all from Wikipedia. She was a converse figure during her lifetime, championed by supporters as an enlightened guru, and deraned as a fraudulent charlatan and plagiarist by critics. Her theosophical doctrines influenced the spread of Hindu and Buddhist ideas in the West, as well as the devote of Western esoteric currents like Irosophy, Anthroposophy, and the New Age movement. So basically, this is Afi's main. This is what Afi is. He's a theosophist. He's really not a Hindu. He just takes different parts of Hinduism because it makes him feel accomplished. But getting back to it, you know, she was born into the aristocratic Russian German family in Yekatorovsk,
then in the Russian Empire, now Ukraine. Blavatsky traveled widely around the empire as a child. Largely self-educated, she developed an interest in Western esotericism. During her teen years, according to her late claims in 1849, she embarked on a series of world travels, visiting Europe, Americas, and India. She also claimed during this period she encountered a group of spiritual adepts, the masters of ancient wisdom. Now, all of this is related into Hinduism, right? And you can't find one pseudo book that doesn't talk about the masters of ancient wisdom, who sent her to Sagist, Tibet, where they trained her to develop a deep understanding of the synthesis of religion, philosophy, and the science. Now, this is why the Bible is better. The Bible is better because it actually has a ground basis. The scripture talks about those who add it to the word and take away from it. You feel what I'm saying? So with this Theosophy Hinduism that Aki's trying to push, it basically shows how it's unstable and anybody can have his part in it and chaos can just run rampant. And that's something the Black community don't need. Now, as you all can see through the debate, fun fact number 2, Theosophists are known for taking different religions and teachings and cultures and creating a new doctrine, just like Afi. Now, an example, proof in the pudding. And this is his true master teacher. These are the words of Malachi York giving to an unknown group of masters who guided his pen in the article we invented to show one of his masters, British author, lecturer, and conspirator theorist David Icke, and one of these masters who guided York's pen, not literally holding York's hand as he wrote, but this teaching was inspired, motivated, or had a significant influence over York to the point that the element of Icke's beliefs was adopted and injected into York's doctrine. You will also notice, you can read on that Malachi York makes mention of the leader of the Theosophist Society, Madame Helen P. Blavatsky, and how she was a witch. But the reality is that Blavatsky came to this day still influenced many groups and cults that is not limited to what we call the conscious community. Numerous pseudo-mythical and esoteric ideologies can be traced back to Blavatsky, meaning many who inspired or influenced her about her views. Inspiration brought us to York and the man who was ultimately responsible for opening the floodgates to pseudoism upon us, and a door that remains open still to this day. So there you have it, folks. Dr. York's great-grandmother and Afi's great-great-great-great-grandmother was a Russian. It relates to Hinduism because Hinduism is actually open to various different belief systems. And it's not just grounded on one belief system, as you all can see, like how they had that Trump god deity and the monkey god. Now, I would like to show you where York actually plagiarized some of his information. He plagiarized from this book because, you know, Afi loves to talk about breathing. So this is what I'd like to go into, right? If the Western student is hold on, let me largen it a little bit. The Western student is sacredly to be blamed for thinking of the typical yogi as an emasculated, fanatical, dirty, ignorant Hindu who either sits in a fixed posture until his body becomes opposited, or else holds his arm, up in the air until it becomes stiff and withered, and for either after remains in the position or perhaps clenches his fist and holds it tight until his fingernails grow through the palms of his hands. That's the science of breath, Yogi Ramchak, page 1. Now, this is some of Dr. York's writings and teachings. There have been for ages past in India and other Oriental cultures men who devoted their time and attention to the development of man, physical, mental, and spiritual experience of generations of East. Earnest speakers have been handed down from centuries, from teachers to pull, and gradually a defined yogi science was built to the investigation and teachings was finally called the term yogi from the Sanskrit word yug, meaning to join. From the same source comes in the English word yoke, which is similar, meaning is connected with these teachings is definitely to trace different authorities, given different explanations, but probably the most indigenous is that which holds that this is the Andini as a Hindu equivalent for the idea conveyed by the English phrase into harnessed or yoking up. As the yogi unboundment gets into harness in his works of controlling
The Body and Mind by the Will. That's by Dr. York's book. Now going into the back. Hold up. Let me. Yes. This is my. No, hold on. Let me come through right through my PowerPoint. Now, can everybody still see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. The unauthorized version. The student, and this was from the same book I showed. The students of these people are not all to be blamed by thinking for the typical Egyptian mystic as an anoretic, fanatical, dry, dirty, ignorant mystic who either sits up in a fixed posture until his body becomes rigid and frozen, or holds his arms up until it becomes stiff and whitened, and for either after the remains in the posture, or perhaps mixing magical potions or turning staffs into snakes, as portrayed in the Bible. So Samal did. So basically, this is saying that it was shown that York plagiarized just from this whole thing. Just to summarize it, it basically showed how York plagiarized from the Hindu breathing teachings and placed them into Nuwapian doctrine, basically, and then mixed a whole bunch of Egyptian, just anything that sounds mystic, anything that sounds interesting to bring people in, and it really targets and helps folks who have low self-esteem, like Afi, to come into the mix and become brainwashed and don't want to cut their hair and have terrible old man edges. So at the end of the day, right? Poison like this is something that the black community do not need, and we sure don't need Dr. York, man. He rot in jail for his crimes for humanity. But as further ado, I would like to give the rest of the round to Afi to see if you have anything to counter this.
All right, man. So we're at the bottom of the third. Alfie is the last and final time to make your plea to the judges. I hope everyone is watching. We're going to transition into the question and answer segment after this, and then the people in the audience will be able to cast their votes. All right. So let's go. Alfie, are you ready?
Yes. Okay. So one of the things I want to point out is this. Again, the doctrine I created has absolutely nothing to do with Madame Blavatsky at all. It has everything to do with when you reach a certain enlightenment and rank in Hinduism and yogi, you develop these inspirations from your soul, and you do what's called the student can now become the master and create his own temple. But you first have to understand, to be a great leader, you have to be a great follower. So even in my dealings with other organizations, which I've studied a universal plethora of knowledge, it has nothing to do with me rising above all of that, including traditions such as the Bible and everything else, and creating my own teachings, which I will further explain. But let's move right along. One thing, now that your mind is concentrated, when you're in zazen, which is sitting meditation, you can focus and watch all your thoughts, which is some black people don't do. Pass like street hookers or cars in traffic. Never zero in. Do this by activating your breath consciousness. That's how you do this. You do this by activating your breath consciousness. You count every single breath that's through your nose, and you start off by doing 10 counts for about 5 to 10 rounds a day, which I've done, and then you go to 10 to 25, 25 to 75. As you breathe is how you think, because with no oxygen, you have no consciousness. So because people think breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth, improper way to breathe. Studies actually show you increase your vernacular and your synaptic connection and fighting ability and building and creating ability when you know how to breathe. And studies have shown people who breathe through their nose, such as fighting, doing Tai Chi, and things of that nature, know how to breathe more efficiently and know how to better do things than people who are out of breath because they're constantly breathing through their mouth. So it's best to just say less, eat less, and just flow and watch your energy. Once you have done this, you move into what Hindus call a state of nirvana, which means moving past the material plane, which is why I don't cut my beard or my hair, because I am not of this material world. You get into what's called, which the Bible doesn't talk about, a Holy Ghost, but they don't exactly tell you what that is. Well, the Hindus do. It's called a super soul. And this super soul or formless soul is stated in the Bhagavad Gita. The super soul is always with the individual soul, but they're two separate souls. So now you got two separate formless entities, but you have a main one, which is called the super soul. And then you have you, which is the individual soul. The individual soul is not an ordinary living entity, right? So, because the super soul grew arms, senses, legs, blood, consciousness, the individual soul is the enjoyer of activity of a particular field. But the super soul is present, but it is not as the finite enjoyer, nor is it partaking in the bodily activities, but as a witness, a overseer, and a supreme enjoyer, which means that that is the Godhead, the deity, the self. I'm gonna keep going. Remember, I said Hindus don't believe in no gods or goddesses and this, that, and the third like the Bible does, which holds us back because you're taking on all of the totality of the entity that formed with God flooding the earth and this, that, and the third. And that's why they're going all wild and bonkers and confused, but still wanting to have false devotion. You have the 108 Upanishads, which means the secret teachings. And it states, and I'll give you a few examples, why there is no deity in just self. In the beginning, there was but absolute self alone. There was nothing else whatsoever that winked. He thought, that's you. Let me create worlds. So you created everything you see in this illusionary realm going forward. Then it says, he thought, then let me create protectors of this world. Having gathered a lump of human form from the water itself, he gave it shape. So you created water, and then you gave yourself form by getting this water, which is called plasma, or what cells do when they replicate, and you just keep creating and creating and creating. And then it says, he, his mouth parted, just as eggs does. From the mouth emerged speech. From speech came fire. The nostrils parted. From them came a sense of smell, which made air. So the fact that you breathe is the reason why air is in existence. The two eyes parted. From eyes merged a sense of sight, which created sun. That's why they say you see the star or the sun in your eyes. The two ears parted, from which came hearing. From hearing came a sense of direction. That's why when you hear things, you go that direction. Somebody calls your name, you go. Somebody says, hey, get this, you go. Even if you're deaf, you still have a sense of hearing. You just hear in the state of not physically hearing and spiritually hearing. The skin emerged. From the skin came hair. From the sense of touch came herbs and trees. So then I'm going to touch on a very, very good point. And this point is about love. There's four stages of love that the Bible really doesn't talking about. It does say love thy neighbor and have love to a God or your wife. But Hindus get more a little in depth with it. So you have the four stages of love. Mirata is translated into kindness or benevolence. This is not only the desire to make someone happy, but the ability to do so. You may have every intent to love someone, but the way you may love them may make them unhappy. So you have to practice learning how to love universally and learning how to understand kindness in being benevolent, which means having a optimistic view of how to get out of any situation and not worry about what someone else is doing or another culture. Then you have karana, which means compassion. This is the ability to ease the pain of others as well as the desire to. This is also based on understanding and the understanding of suffering of your love. So you need compassion and the ability to ease each other's pain because we went through 400 years of slavery, 1200 with the Arab, and endless with our own people in Africa and Israel and Moors. So, with that being the case, we need to learn to ease each other's pain and have compassion and understand that this is a slow process, not a fast talking robotic process like the misconception of my opponent who just rushed through this because he knew he was ill prepared. He didn't treat this with compassion and love because he doesn't really believe in what he wants to believe because he doesn't study to show thyself approved because he only wants to do it to get ahas and akis. Then you have what I call matada. There is no path to happiness but the path of happiness. This is joy or happiness. This element is the true love. If there is no joy or happiness, there is no love, support, unity, anything. So if you don't develop a sense of joy, love, and happiness, which Hindus teach you have to, you cannot go out and start a business together. Black people cannot go out. Why you think we start gangs? Why you think we start more religious cults? Because we have no love and joy and unity for each other, and we didn't develop it properly within ourselves, which means we can't develop it in each other. And the Bible sure as hell isn't going to do it because we've been relying on that thing since before slavery, and look at what it's got us. We're in another man's land and we're both holding up crosses. The only difference is his is a sword and ours is a talisman. So then you have what I call Yupa Kashi. The price of freedom is simply to choosing to be. Freedom. Feel free within a relationship. Each person should feel free to be an individual, to allow them to grow and develop their own way. This allows you to be yourself and have time alone. So when he says it is wrong for me to create a doctrine and just to rely on the Bible, that is completely not what Hindus teach. They don't teach to rape and to devour and to do all that other stuff. Those are people who probably were conquered and most likely are not following the purest ways of devotion. And these are the four stages of love, right? Safe in the knowledge that you are with your lover is doing the same. Simply put, there should be freedom in your relationships with yourself, with your mate, and anything you do. I mean, being free, being in freedom to share ideas without fear or judgment, which he tried to cast judgment all through this debate. Also, being able to be a part of a couple is a sign of the truest love. By hearing the instructions, you have kindly given me the confidence to the utmost spiritual subjects. My illusions have now been dispelled, and even you are able to see everything. You cannot see me with your present eyes. Therefore, I give you divine eyes. This is in the Bhagavad Gita to let you know You may be able to see, but you cannot see everything with your present eyes of illusion. So you get divine eyes, and then you saw in the universal form ultimate mouths, ultimate eyes, ultimate wonders. The forms was decorated with many celestial amulets and borrowed many divine appraised weapons. You wore celestial garlands and garments and many divine scents. You are the father of this complete cosmic manifestation of moving the moving and the unmoving. You are the worshipful chief and the supreme spiritual master. I say all of this to let you know one exact thing, right? And I have two more slides. When you say the principle which we all have said, oatmeal, ing, things like that, it is basically representing of the absolute truth. We say this a lot. With that being said, you are always in the absolute truth. When we learn ma ha ama, the great soul, liberated person who is fully in Krishna consciousness, which is black consciousness. This is a black movement. You reach Maka, which means liberation from the material existence, and you start looking at the bigger picture. And then you get into, you will become a living conscious matra. Matra means, according to the Gita, a transitional sound. Now, with all of this being said, you get into what I am going to propose to you to say, this is my doctrine. What creates life? The question shouldn't be who you are, rather, who do you think you will be? Long time ago, we knew what we thought we was, plus had thought control down to mind mastery. The next question is, who tricked you out of all of this? Simple. You allowed yourself to stop thinking, which further caused you to stop mastering your mind and having thought control. The question often is asked, how do I get my powers and ability back? Well, my answer is very simple. Just remember how a baby walks and talks. They keep at it until each step becomes a laugh or it gives them satisfaction. Then they move and understand the bigger energy forms that are moving and talking. This is important because at the end of the day, my doctrine has nothing to do with Hinduism. My prior dealings with any organization, it purely came from my soul because I reached the highest stage of how to help our people. And I know this doctrine will work because I preach it religiously because I'm a manager at my job to people, and they're waiting for it to come out because they're tired of all these old traditions that are doing nothing for them and old gods that are doing nothing for them. So then I say this, remember what it, you said what?
Time.
Okay. And that's my presentation. Namaste and Namaste.
All right, family. All right, so now we're going to transition into the question and answer segment. The brothers going to have 3 questions apiece amongst each other. Everybody that's watching, I want you to get ready to pass your votes. We want to hear from you in the audience. All right. So Craig went first. So Alfie, it's your turn to ask a question first.
I have no question.
You yield your whole question segment?
I have no question.
All right, Brother Craig, do you have any questions for Alfie?
Yeah, I got a ton of questions for Alfie. I have a ton of questions. All right. Now that you know that you're not a Hindu and you're a theosophist, so you borrow parts of Hindu,
I'm
do
a
you
Hindu.
have any structure in your religion that pertain to punishment, like the Bible?
As far as punishment goes, and again, I'm not a Theolopolis. I am a Hindu. I am a yogi. I didn't pull this from no other text, but that's neither here nor there. You can stop trying to convince them and sway them because that's called leading in court. But what I'm gonna say is this: yes, we do have punishments. Your punishment is you go to a place called a higher and lower heaven, and like I said before, this is called, if you were listening, Samsara, which basically means you go to a dream state. And basically, you get put under what's called, what they use in AI, a sedation process of basically assimilation, where you get tortured by your own thoughts and ideas. And you sit that person down and you basically ask them questions over and over until it pierces their soul and they cry out and they say, well, how do I make this right? And they continue to get punished more and more with their own thoughts in this dream state. And that's where you actually go when you die. You go to a dream state of your own punishment according to the text, and you get beat up by your own sorrows and things that you did on this earth. So, with that being the case, the punishment is on earth and it's after. That's what the reincarnation is. Not you turn into a bug, not you basically there's no punishment for what you do. No, you get punished, but it's not a literal heaven or hell. You go through the states of whatever you was and whatever you are in its highest and lowest vibration, and you continue to go what's called in the state of nothingness, or what's called the state of somethingness, which is also called the unknown source or sources.
All right, time. All right, Craig, you got another question?
Yeah, I have another question. You do know in the Hindu religion, Naraka is the equivalent to hell in the Bible, but that's okay. Okay, Afi. I noticed you call yourself Afi Azan, right? Am I correct? I'm saying that right, right? All right, you're not
Yeah,
answering.
Afia
Okay,
Sanawuku.
okay, all right. Well, the Afi Azan part kind of confuses me. So, can you tell me? Well, is your name? Is it actually Hindu or is it Urudu?
Um, Afia Zan was a birth name. I
I'm
didn't put
asking you the origin of the name.
I'm okay. I'm gonna give you the origin of the name. I'm letting you know. Don't cut me off and be respectful. Thank you. Now, Afia Zan comes from Yoruba, the Akan, and it means Friday. It also means strong black king. The reason why I don't have a Hindu name, because again, I'm not you Hebrews or Muslims where I get into a certain practice and I change my name. Hindus actually speak against that. And in the Yoruba, they actually speak against it, but we're not here to debate a Yoruba debate. I'm giving you the origin of my name, which means Friday in the Akan, and it also means strong black king or blackness in Arabia. So it's an African Arabian name that my mom chose to give me at birth. I never knighted myself this name. So with that being the case, when you're practicing Hinduism, it is actually wrong to give yourself, as I said in my debate, titles, conceptualism, and things of that nature. You ascend past it and you go higher into a more state of nirvana. Any more questions?
Well, your name is actually Muslim. It's actually the origin is Urudu. It's close around that origin, but your name pretty much translates to pure nature in that tone. But another question I have is this: for the Black community, how would Hinduism actually play a role in getting people into an organized structure to where we're actually our own superpower?
Because Hinduism has one, black people don't know how to fight. That's why they keep fighting each other. That's why they keep fighting out of pain. That's why they keep fighting out of sorrow. So the Hindus created what's called a monastery or a Buddhist monastery, where those Shaolin monks develop ways to feed the community, to practice fighting energy, which is Tai Chi, where you control your energy and master your inner desires and learn to not desire and learn to be smart and have a purity of abstinence and celibacy. So you're practicing safe sex measures, which the black community does not do. That's why women and men are having 10 to 20 babies, because they're not practicing safe sex avenues. They're not giving to their community just because they're looking for an entitlement piece. When I was 14 years old, just to show you how I walked into this enlightenment, I made literally 10,000 sandwiches a year for the homeless, passed out money, did devotion, gave advice, did tutoring, and did not look for no help or no acknowledgement whatsoever. And that's what we have to do. But these Buddhist monasteries carry not only the teachings that I presented, which are not selective teachings of what I'm picking and grabbing, it is what it is. That's why it's called the Bhagavad Gita as is. And it basically helps us to have a unity amongst oneself, so we understand you don't have to cut your hair. You don't have to wear clothes. You don't have to fight this way. Most Hindus and Yoganandas are very widely respected in their community, their homes, their relationships. You don't see domestic violence like you see people who believe in Christianity, specifically Hebrews, where y'all beat y'all women, control them, or how the Bible says you have to be in slavery. Doesn't say all of that. It says we can fight all of this, and the monasteries teaches us this. That's why it says a Babaji, which means my avataric master who lives in the Himalayas, pointing to the main monastery where you go to seek a body, mind, body idea, and you learn real intuition and subconscious things. But are there any more questions?
No, there's none, bro.
And this is why we need Hinduism. Thank you.
All right, family. So for everybody that's watching, I want you to put a 1 in the chat. A number 1 in the chat for Brother Alfie. A number 1 in the chat for Brother Alfie. I want you to put a number 2 in the chat for Brother Craig. Put a number 2 in the chat for Brother Craig. All right, so judges, this is what I want from you. Right now, I would like you brothers to DM me, direct message me your vote. Then when we come to you, we want to explain your vote. Now, for everybody watching, why are we doing this? So that a judge's explanation does not affect the next judge's vote. Okay? So I need you to don't put it in the judge's room. Send it directly to me so no one else sees it. All right? If you are in the judge's room and you're looking for me to DM me, I just posted in the judge's room. All right? DM me directly your vote. Then we're going to come to you and have you explain why you voted for that person. All right? Joshua, talk to me, man. Any closing words?
Yeah, I mean, I can't wait to see what the judges say here. Both these brothers were talking a lot of smack, so
right.
I just want to see how this is adjudicated.
Right.
Hey, I just want to say I got a couple people in the audience on Genesis 49ers. They wasn't feeling it. Hey, this is the debate platform. We're not here to sway anybody's religion or perception on reality. We're here to debate topics, and that's it, man. So stop looking at it like we're in the church and this is the congregation, and you're offended because your doctrine may be getting destroyed.
Right.
If you feel that way, don't watch the debate because this is the debate.
Look, man, this King Self. If you don't care, if you don't want to debate your topic, or if you don't want to stand 10 toes down on what you stand on, then don't watch us. We want the people that want to come and stand 10 toes down on what they say and back their stuff up so we can build with these brothers. You understand? This is just more than just a debate platform. You understand? This is something that we trying to get brothers to be included in so we can build with each other and love one another and show each other that we support one another. You see what I'm saying? So hey, this the source. Source up or shut up. SUC, man.
That's
You know
right.
what I'm saying? We not doing nothing biased. I don't believe in no Bible at all. But I respect the brother Jashub and I respect the brother Jeremiah. You see what I'm saying? Those my brothers till the day I die, and I ride with them no matter what.
That's
You see
right.
what I'm saying? And I don't believe in what they believe in, but those some good brothers at heart. And if you're a good brother at heart, then by all means, man, y'all come to the source, man. Real talk.
All right, so I'm waiting on the last judge. I have. Okay.
Yeah, man. I want to hear these explanations.
Right. Right. All right, so I have Amin's vote and I have Chris Harris's vote. I'm waiting on the last judge to send me his vote.
Isabio, send a vote, man. What's
I
going
sent
on?
it to Craig.
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 He debated.
Oh, well,
Send it to Jeremiah directly.
all right.
Thank you, sir. All right, so let's go with let me get that last vote, man. I gotta get that last vote because
Yo, I just want to thank everybody that's watching tonight. Make sure you subscribe to Yah World 777. Like the Facebook group NYMG. Join the Facebook group, the Source Debate League, if you're interested in either being a judge or a debater. We need judges from all walks of life.
That's right.
So if you are more, we need you. Agnostic, we
Man,
need
how do I send it?
just go listen. Go on Facebook Messenger, type in Jeremiah's name, and send it directly to him.
All right. My bad. Let me mute.
Did you get it? And the brother's gone, man.
Yeah. Listen, I just posted in 7 branches. Just click on my name and send it to me, bro.
Isabio's in the judging room.
Okay, I posted in there already. So go in the judging room.
Joshua savage as fuck. What?
He said, "What? What I do?"
Joshua be savage as fuck.
Come on, man. Let's keep it clean, brothers.
I said, you savage as fuck, boy.
All right, man.
You just got to keep it real, man. I'm just trying to keep it real. Yo, Isabio. Is he in here? Might have to go to our backup. Who's our backup? We're done it.
So here you go. Here you go.
All right.
All right, did you send it to me, bro?
I'm doing it now.
Okay.
Hey, but I just want people to recognize that this guy right here, he's a Hebrew Israelite. I don't believe in the Bible. I'm not a Hebrew Israelite. I don't like you niggas.
You're a hater. You're a hater.
This man can eat at my table. This man is in my house. You see, I just want to bring this olive branch to y'all to show y'all that I don't believe in y'all shit. But
let's keep it clean, brothers. Keep it clean.
Hey, real quick. Hey, guys, real quick. Can we get a moment of silence for brother Jacob Blake? And y'all send him some prayers and energy for his speedy recovery.
Let's get that.
Yeah, he was. Is he fully diagnosed as a paraplegic now?
We don't know yet, so that's why I
okay.
said let's give him some
Okay.
energy and some of y'all prayers. So let's just give him 7 seconds of silence.
All right, man. We appreciate that, man. Definitely, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Salakia, Hotep, Shalom.
I just, man,
Hey, Savio.
I just want everybody out there to know that the source is not a biased platform, bro. That we welcome every ideology. We just
You get it?
respect as men. That's all we want.
Right. No, I haven't. Yeah, I got it. I got it. All right. Savio, who you voting for, bro? That's not an answer, bro. What are you doing here?
Yo,
Yo,
his brother.
I gotta see you this, man. This guy's funny, man. Oh, okay. All right, thank you, brother. All right, so now we're gonna go to Chris Harris first, man. Come on with your choice and your reasoning. Believe you're on mute.
All right. So much more could have been brought forth in this debate. I believe this is also these two brothers' first time debating. So taking that into note and putting them both in their proper context about their debates, the name of the debate is which is better for our people. When I was listening to Brother Craig did a good job at opening up his PowerPoint presentation by showing examples of what the Bible teaches and what people have done to use it for their communities in and out of government. Brother Craig, he did start getting into the God bashing, but he also, while God bashing, illustrated some hideous things. I mean, some hideous things in that religion. And I got to be honest, I was shocked. And if I can learn something in a debate, that's something I have to take to heart. So I listened to that what he brought forth, and he was showing that Hinduism and some of those hideous things is just not good for us. Now to the other brother, I want to say this first and foremost. I love his spirit. I think any Israelite can learn from his spirit and how he maintained his composure the entire time. And I think this might be his first debate. He showed with his spirit what Hinduism can do, but unfortunately, his excuse for the hideous things in his practice was all religions have nasty things in them. And I understand that, but he wasn't willing to engage that and address that directly. Once again, I love his spirit. Anybody can learn from him, and he can be a light to many people. But my vote has to go to Craig because he did a better job with his presentation. He showed why the biblical narrative is good versus our other brother. I can't pronounce Alfie. I can't pronounce his name, so forgive me. Where what he did was proselytize about his religion. But I did say in that Q&A session, he was immaculate.
God.
Had it just been based on a Q&A session, he would have gotten you, Craig. But I gave Craig this debate hands down. If I was a rookie listening to this and the first time listener listening to this, I would have said Craig won hands down. So good job, Craig. Good job, Alfie. I really enjoyed your spirit tonight. You might have to go join Yahweh, the Yahweh war machine, man, and drop that Hinduism, man, because I wouldn't. It's some hideous things there, man. So I'm sorry. It's just we got to put that down, brother. Put that down.
Yo, hold on, brother Chris, hold on.
Save it.
Don't be advertising. Don't be advertising.
Y'all better go save him, man. Y'all better go save him, man. So.
All right, family. So we have the first vote going to our brother Craig. First vote going to our brother Craig. All right, so for the next judge, Brother Amin, talk to us, family.
Yes, thanks everyone for having me on. I did a thorough examination of this debate, and I analyzed both brothers' perspectives. This is what I came up with, and then I'll give you my answer after this analyzation. Craig, to me, won the first round. Why? Because he explained in the Bible about child instructions, problems with pork, socialism, laws of reciprocity, the book of Leviticus, and how that can improve our health and wealth, which has actually been proven to actually be effective. My thing with the Bible is that the Bible is up for interpretation. So the Bible is not bad. People think like, oh, you don't like the Bible. No, it's the people's interpretation of the Bible which makes the Bible bad, like the corrupt pastors, things like that. So I would say Craig won the first round. Afi kind of had a rebuttal with, this Hinduism intro, kind of proselytizing, kind of went to this like self-help thing. He's basically saying like, if you think the way that I think concerning Hinduism, that'll be better for the Black community. Then in round two, basically Craig said he kind of went on a slander campaign. He kind of got away from how the Bible helps the Black community. And he started slandering. He said Hinduism doesn't make sense. You can have a 12-year-old bride. It's morally debased. And where Craig kind of lost me, where I felt Craig was winning, is that he accused Afi of being his doctrine being related to theosophy, which was basically the doctrine of Madame Blavatsky. And Afi explicitly explained that he's a Hindu. That has nothing to do with Blavatskyism, being that Blavatsky is a 1800s witch/Satanist that worked with Aleister Crowley. Hinduism is, some people guess that the Bhagavad Gita is like thousands of years old. So that's way before Dr. York, way before Blavatsky, way before Aleister Crowley. That was kind of a slander campaign. His second thing was kind of throwing in Dr. York. That really had nothing to do with it at all, because Afi's teachings were purely based in Hinduism. It had nothing to do with Dr. York. Again, I think that was another attempt to slander Afi and make Afi look bad. Afi then came back in round two, even though I felt like he lost round one. Afi said, well, the Bible is more morally debased. This is where it gets bloody. He explained karma as samsara as opposed to samsara in terms of enlightenment. He says that we should expand our consciousness. He says that Blacks suffer from an excessive pride in oneself or some sort of ego consciousness. He said, don't look at his outward appearance, like people were making fun of his hair. And he really kind of hit you guys with a nuclear bomb with this one. He said, look at the inner man. And he's correct, because I was even fooled by his outward appearance. I was looking at his hair like, man, you couldn't get a haircut before the debate, but he counteracted that with some wisdom, and like, he's like, man, don't concentrate on that. Look at the inner wisdom. He said the Buddha Dharma, which is basically mind and spirit, is a form of an illusion. And ultimately, I think why a lot of Black people won't accept Hinduism is just a form of discrimination. It's just simply non-African. And so we're just not open to things that are non-African. And of course, we can relate to the Bible because it has African elements. Afi then went on to talk about Karana, which is compassion, Matara, which is the path to happiness, Upakashi, which is the price of freedom. Another thing I wanted to add in too is nobody ever mentioned the Hindu Kushites and how the Israelites or Kushites had actually influenced a little bit of Hinduism. That's why when the Israelites went out of the land of Goshen, they became the Hindu Kush Empire. And that's why you could see kind of similarities between the Egyptian creation story when Afi was saying something like, God is yourself, and the Egyptian creation story where they say Atum is a parsonage of yourself. So let me wrap this up. I know I'm always long-winded. So in the questioning phase, Craig said, are there any punishments? And we know, of course, in Christianity, as Christians, we know that there's punishments for certain behavior. I believe that those punishments are actually spiritual and not physical. For instance, Craig said hell. Well, we know that hell is the Hebrew word Sheol, but it literally means a place in the mind. It's not a physical place. Then Craig said, can we become a superpower under Hinduism? Well, we're nowhere near becoming a superpower under the Bible. We're actually becoming less of a superpower under the Bible because the Bible is a very humble text, even though blacks have tried to make the text more warlike. So basically, Craig had an excellent delivery. My thing with Chris Harris is that I'm not sure how someone can be immaculate during the question phase, but yet you still give the win to Craig, who is not immaculate. Although he did do an excellent presentation, I would say that Afi did spark my interest in Hinduism. I had really no interest in Hinduism before Afi started speaking, but he hit me with so many wise points. I was like, well, maybe we need to take a second look at this. The reason why is because I've grown up with a lot of Indian friends. Number one, everybody knows they're very intelligent. They're classified as Asians. They get straight A's. They keep to themselves. They
say, bro. Say, Alf. Come on, man.
Hold on. Let me finish though.
We got to say, bro.
I know that, but listen though. So Indians get straight A's. They believe in marriage. They have strong family and social structures, like they don't really associate with other cultures, and they protect their women.
Okay, all right, Almond. Listen. Let me say this. Almond, let me say this. It's not your job to make Afi's argument for him. Your job is to adjudicate. So adjudicate.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. So
we are the judicial vision of the executive. We are the judicial branch of the government. So your job is to judge.
Okay, so so this is my final thought, and I'm gonna leave it at that. So because I believe that the Afi under Hinduism has clearly made him wise. The Bible with Craig has given him a glowing light, like a loving light, like he's a peaceful person, like someone I want to be around. But because of our lack of judgment skills in the Black community, we need wisdom. That's literally something we don't have. Like a lot of brothers are smart. A lot of sisters are smart. But
sir, you can't frame his argument. What is your
hold on, you're interrupting me. I'm not framing his argument.
I'm not gonna lie.
Hold on. You can do that after I'm done. I'm almost done. Relax. Okay, all I'm saying is that under Hinduism, it's made him a certain way. Under the Bible, it's made him a certain way. My vote goes to Afi because we do need a change in how we think and perceive things. I think Hinduism is superior.
Thank you.
All right, cool.
We got one for Alfie, and we got one for the homie baby Hebrew, man. Let's go to the last judge. Last judge, what you got to say, brother?
Peace. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir. We can hear you. Go ahead.
All right. I'm not going to be as long-winded, but the first round, I will say, the brother Craig did a good job of presenting the good things that can come out of the Bible. The second round, it was really a smear campaign, and he did a great job of showing the smear campaign, but it wasn't on point. I did deduct because he used Wikipedia as a source, and from all the academic circles I've been in, and I have graduated from college, you can't use Wiki as a source without using the sources. So I did deduct from that. And the third round, overall, because Afi stayed on point, and he actually sparked my interest in Hinduism a little bit more. I had looked into it, so I did have to give it to Afi overall because he did stay on topic and he did present his argument and he did not lose his composure during the smear campaign.
That's cool. That's cool. You brothers voted for. Hold on, I gotta say this. I'm gonna step in as a board member, and I'm going to point this out. And I'm just gonna say this live because this is bullshit. Excuse my language. Afi had no sources. What are you guys talking about? In the live. I'm not having this, man. This is bullshit. Isabia will no longer be a judge here again. You would no longer be a judge here again. This brother had no sources in the show.
On my part, don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna knock the judges for what they believe. That's fine, cool, and dandy. But on my part, the brother had no presentation. That's what took points away. The brother had no sources. That's what took points away. But I'm not gonna complain. Hey, it is what it is. Alfie won. You know what I'm saying? On my part, the judges, that's what the judges say. So he won. The brother Craig, you're gonna have to do a little bit better and come with what the judges need to see. But
nah, I'm not standing for it, man. That's bullshit. This brother did not have any sources.
Fast foul. The judges.
That's fair. No. Listen, that's fair because both of them brothers sit here and watch this brother have no sources. This is the source. You either source up or shut up. Your bias. Hold on. Your bias was shown in your judgment. So Isabia, you are no longer welcome here, and Armin no longer welcome. I'm not having it.
Okay.
I'm not having it.
Stop.
I'm not having it. In the live, Jeremiah. In the live. I'm not having it, bro. Nope.
The judges made their ruling. We're not going to do that. We're not